Ever wonder how Nvidia became like the tech giant it is today?
Mm-hmm.
We're about to take you on a deep dive into their story,
Okay.
going way beyond, just the AI chip headlines.
Right.
Get ready for a wild ride from a Denny's booth to a $1 trillion valuation.
It's really quite a story. It shows how a company can start from really humble beginnings
Yeah.
and end up shaping the entire tech landscape.
You're telling me we're diving deep into this Wikipedia article all about Nvidia.
Okay.
And trust me, this isn't going to be like your typical dry history lesson.
Not at all. This is about really understanding their journey,
Right.
their strategic moves, how they managed to not just survive, but thrive in, such a constantly changing tech world.
Okay, so picture this. 1993,
Okay.
a Denny's.
All right.
Maybe the smell of coffee and moons over my hammy in the air.
Okay.
And three guys are cooking up something bigger than breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Nvidia was founded at a Denny's.
It's almost too perfect, isn't it?
I know.
But it kind of speaks to the fact that, even tech giants, they start somewhere with an idea and a whole lot of ambition.
Yeah.
And in NVIDIA's case, that ambition was accelerated computing,
Okay.
specifically through graphics-based processing.
They were way ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the real kicker. They decided to use video games as their testing ground.
It was a brilliant move. Video games were becoming more and more demanding,
Right.
pushing the limits of what computers could do visually.
Yeah.
NVIDIA saw an opportunity to not just meet that demand, but to shape it.
So while gamers were battling it out on screen,
Yeah.
Nvidia was developing the technology that would later go on to power some of the most advanced AI applications.
Right.
Talk about a double whammy.
Absolutely. And this brings us to their first product, the NV1.
Okay.
It was a bold move,
Uh-huh.
a unique design that went against the grain of what everyone else was doing.
They were taking a risk, and unfortunately, it almost backfired when Microsoft, with their DirectX platform, went in a completely different direction.
It was a close call. So the NV1 was designed to process quadrilateral primitives,
Right?
essentially squares.
Squares.
Whereas the industry standard, which Microsoft was pushing, was using triangle primitives.
It's like showing up to a dance competition, doing the tango when everyone else is waltzing.
Precisely. And to make matters worse, they almost went bankrupt developing a graphics chip for Sega's Dreamcast console.
Oh, wow.
Sega ended up dropping them at the last minute, leaving NVIDIA in a very precarious position.
This is where things could have really gone south.
Right.
But then, in a surprising turn of events, Sega's president at the time, Shoichiro Iwamajiri, he threw them a lifeline. He believed in NVIDIA's potential so much, he convinced Sega to invest $5 million.
Now that's a story of faith in action. And
Yeah.
it goes to show you the importance of, relationships, believing in a company's vision, even when they're facing setbacks.
It was a pivotal moment. They took that $5 million and poured it into developing the Rivia 128, a graphics card that embraced the industry standard of those triangle primitives.
Right.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
The Rivia 128 was a smash hit.
It was.
In just 4 months, they sold 1 million units. Talk about a comeback story.
Huge.
It's a turning point, one that solidified their position in the market and paved the way for even bigger things to come.
And by bigger things, we mean going public in 1999, right at the peak of the dot-com boom.
Talk about perfect timing. The tech world was exploding, and Nvidia was perfectly positioned to ride that wave.
They seized the moment and never looked back.
Remember that term GPU we've been throwing around?
Yeah.
Well, they launched the GeForce 256, the first product marketed as a GPU, a dedicated processor specifically for handling those intense visual computations.
This is where things really started to change.
Right.
They weren't just making graphics cards anymore. They were defining a whole new category of hardware.
And they weren't done yet. They went on to win the contract to develop the graphics hardware for the original Xbox. That's a huge deal, especially considering how big Xbox has become.
It was a major coup. Not only did it solidify their position in the gaming market, but it also gave them the resources to push the boundaries of technology even further.
But NVIDIA's success wasn't just about making killer products. They also had a knack for acquiring promising startups.
You could say they were the tech world's savvy shoppers, picking up smaller companies that had something special to offer. They had a real talent for recognizing potential.
Like their acquisition of 3D Effects Interactive, a
Yeah.
company that was once a dominant player in the graphics card market.
And this isn't just about eliminating competition. They were absorbing valuable technology and talent, adding it to their own arsenal.
Remember how games suddenly became more realistic with physics-based effects?
Yeah.
That was because of their acquisition of Asia, the company behind the Fistix physics engine.
It was a smart move that not only made their products more powerful, but it also showed the world that Nvidia was serious about pushing the boundaries of gaming.
Then came the AI revolution, a turning point that nobody could have predicted. These GPUs, originally designed for graphics, were about to become the backbone of artificial intelligence.
This is where Nvidia's foresight truly shines. Those GPUs, with their parallel processing capabilities, were perfectly suited to handle the complex calculations required by AI algorithms.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time. They weren't just riding the wave of the AI boom, they were shaping it. And to make it easier for developers to work with their GPUs, they created CUA, a software platform that opened up the world of AI to a much broader audience.
CUA was a game changer. It made it possible for developers to harness the power of NVIDIA GPUs for a wide range of AI applications, and it cemented their position as the go-to choice for AI development.
Suddenly, everyone wanted to get their hands on Nvidia technology. Remember Tesla? Not the historical figure, but the electric car company. They used to rely on Nvidia chips for their self-driving systems.
This just goes to show you how NVIDIA's technology was powering some of the most ambitious and futuristic technologies. They were making a real impact in industries beyond gaming.
And for those who really wanted to push the boundaries of AI, Nvidia released DGX supercomputers, designed specifically for AI and deep learning. These are essentially custom-built machines for the most demanding AI tasks.
It's a testament to NVIDIA's commitment to the world of AI. They're not just making chips, they're building the infrastructure needed to unlock the full potential of artificial intelligence.
It's been a remarkable journey, one that's taken them from a casual conversation at Denny's to a valuation of over $1 trillion.
They've definitely come a long way. And that's not just about the money, it's about the impact they've made on the tech world.
And speaking of $1 trillion, Nvidia's valuation has been on like an absolute tear in recent years.
Yeah.
They even tried to buy ARM Holdings,
Right.
a major chip designer.
Sure. But that deal ultimately fell through.
It just goes to show you that even giants like Nvidia face challenges. You know, the regulatory hurdles for a deal that big were just too high.
Even so, in 2023, they became like the 7th public U.S. company ever to hit $1 trillion valuation. That's rarefied air, to say the least.
It's a real testament to, their strategy, their execution. But what's even more impressive is that they didn't stop there.
You're telling me, in June of 2024, their valuation briefly surpassed even Microsoft.
Wow.
Putting them at like the very top of the tech world, just for a moment.
From Denny's to global dominance, it's quite a story. So what can we learn from all of this?
That's what I want to know. What are the key takeaways for our listener, tuning into this deep dive?
Well, I think NVIDIA's journey teaches us that success in the tech world takes more than just a good idea.
Right.
It takes vision. It takes adaptability and a willingness to take, calculated risks. They could have easily given up when faced with those early setbacks.
Oh, absolutely.
But they didn't. They adapted, they learned from their mistakes, and they came back stronger than ever.
Exactly. And they never lost sight of their core focus accelerated computing. They were ahead of the curve on that, and they managed to ride that wave all the way to the top.
So what does the future hold for NVIDIA? Can they maintain this level of success, or are there challenges on the horizon?
Well, the tech world is constantly changing, so nothing is guaranteed.
Right.
But I think NVIDIA's track record speaks for itself. They've shown this remarkable ability to adapt, to innovate.
That being said, new technologies are always emerging. Things like quantum computing have the potential to disrupt the entire industry.
Yeah.
And NVIDIA will need to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Their success so far has been incredible, but it's really just one chapter in their story. It'll be fascinating to see what they do next.
And that, my friend, is why we do these deep dives.
Right.
It's about more than just understanding the past. It's about using that knowledge to think critically about the future.
Precisely. So as you continue to explore the world of technology, keep NVIDIA's journey in mind. It's a reminder that even in a field as complex and as fast-paced as tech, with the right vision and a whole lot of determination, anything is possible.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the incredible world of NVIDIA. We hope you enjoyed this journey as much as we did.
Until next time.